Yep.
Okay, so Adam, what's the situation about redundancy compensation in Australia?
Well, recently our federal government passed legislation that will commence from the 1st of July this year, which provides, among other things, for redundancy payments where an employee has lost his or her job, or where the employer is insolvent. They have certain entitlements. Those entitlements are that if you've been there for 2 years, you'll be entitled to 4 weeks, and then there's a sliding scale which goes up to a total of, I'll just have to check there, 16 weeks after 10 years, and then after that there is long service leave payments kick in, so you get payments above that.
Okay, why did the government bring in the redundancy protection?
There's a widespread practice across the Australian community that where an employee loses his or her job, that redundancy payments are a necessary part of a safety net. These provisions here are a safety net provision. On top of that, there would be other payments made or better provisions made in enterprise agreements. So it's a widely accepted practice. It's been around for many years.
Right. So how controversial was it with the business community when the government brought this bit of legislation in?
I'm not aware that there was any controversy around this issue for the business community. I think it's now generally accepted across the Australian community that it's not only good for the employees on a fairness and justice grounds. Someone hasn't got a job, they haven't got any money. It actually makes good economic sense for there to be some social safety net support during those periods of time when people lose their job. What it means is people lose their job, they have some money as a form of a payout, and that money sustains them until such time as they can find further employment. And with that money, they would be able to continue to, buy the usual sorts of services from the business community. If you took that out of the system, you'd all of a sudden have I suppose a cash flow vacuum that would impose significant costs on businesses, but also costs on social services and that sort of thing. So this is kind of the way that Australia works now. Redundancy is very much a part and parcel of the way our society functions. There'll probably be people in the business community here that would like to see less redundancy payments, no doubt, but at the moment that's the status.
So take an Australian company like Transfield. In New Zealand, they're laying off workers at the moment with no redundancy pay. But what would happen in Australia for a Transfield worker?
Well, Transfield would be covered by the federal legislation, which covers all corporations. They would have to make minimum redundancy payments to all workers that they were laying off, assuming that it was they were not going to replace those workers, and that would just be part of what's expected. The fact that they're not doing that in New Zealand and they're paying people, I suppose, their annual leave or whatever they're entitled to without any redundancy payments, well, that would be surprising for most Australians to know that a company like Transfield was doing that in New Zealand.
Thanks very much.
No worries.